Welcome to Creating a Smart Walkthrough with WalkMe. I'm your host, Beth Waddell, and I will be introducing you to the basics of this unique tool. As a training consultant with over 30 years of stand-up training experience and almost 20 years of instructional design and development experience, I've used many different simulation tools in my career. WalkMe is different. WalkMe is a first in the new generation of desktop assistants. It is on-screen help that floats along with you as you perform an application task. Desktop assistants like WalkMe help you accomplish two things at once. You develop training for yourself and other users while doing your job at the same time. How cool is that? Imagine you're in sales at a company and you hear this from your manager.
We just laid off some team members, so we can't afford to go out and hire instructional designers. I'm afraid you're going to have to develop some of the training yourself. You may also have to deliver the training about a month before Salesforce goes live. Oh, and it would be great if the training you create could be right inside Salesforce, so our sales team can keep pursuing leads and not have to take time out for training.
This situation occurs quite often. Imagine hearing you now have training development duties in addition to your real job. You know Salesforce, but you don't know training. How are you going to create training quickly so your coworkers can learn Salesforce and get back out to chasing leads? WalkMe to the rescue. WalkMe is part of the new generation of context-sensitive training tools. Unlike other tools that create documentation you have to find in a separate location, WalkMe floats right on top of Salesforce or the application you're teaching and guides you step by step through the procedure. Creating a tutorial with WalkMe is easy. If you know the application, in this case Salesforce, you can create the tutorial as you do the tasks you would normally do. Why implement a desktop assistant at all for training material like this? It turns out there are great savings in time and human resources. A recent survey of WalkMe organizational users reported some very interesting data. 43% decrease in live training needs. 85% decrease in help desk tickets. That's a massive savings. A 25% reduction in customer support requests. And perhaps most important to a company that sells things, 15% less time to generate a quote, meaning your sales people can get back out on the road and chase those leads. In this micro module, you will learn the following things. First, you'll be able to list the benefits of using WalkMe to create on-screen training. You'll be able to explain the process at a high level of creating a smart walkthrough. In this module, we will not be actually creating the walkthroughs. That will be in the next module. And you'll be able to define key terms. Like many applications, WalkMe has its own special vocabulary, some of which is intuitive and some of which is unique to WalkMe. So you'll learn those terms as well. You might wonder, do I need to be taking this training? Am I in the right place? Well, you're in the right place if you're proficient in Salesforce, and if you're not, there are several great self-study courses available online, including those from Salesforce itself if your organization already possesses the tool. Is WalkMe installed on your device? WalkMe works with both PC and Mac. And it's best to do it on a desktop device rather than a mobile device, although the online learning can display in a mobile device as well. And we already know this one. Have you been tasked with developing desktop procedures for your organization? If you're looking at this e-learning module, the answer is probably yes. So let's get started. The overall walkthrough creation process at a 50,000 foot level is actually pretty easy. First thing you do is launch WalkMe and log in. In the WalkMe environment, users log into what's referred to as a data center, which is nothing more than a cloud location where all of the WalkMe walkthroughs are going to be stored. A whole group of users can be using one data center. And in my experience, there's often one for the US and one for EU. WalkMe also works with different languages as well. Next thing is launch the target application. WalkMe works with many other applications besides Salesforce. We're just using Salesforce for this lesson and future modules as well. Then the nitty-gritty occurs. You go through the processes you want to document, adding help balloons, that's a technical term, to each step and each screen in the process. You can add the balloons as you go along, and WalkMe will also give you a way to edit the balloons and add additional help text, links to other parts of the process, or anything else that you want to add. You can also move the balloons around so they're not covering up vital parts of the screen. We cover that in the module on how to actually create the walkthrough and edit it. Then, once you like what you have, you save your work to that cloud location, the data center. And as soon as you do that, it's instantly available to everyone else in your organization that is logged into that same data center. As I mentioned, there are some unique terms with WalkMe. Some of them are self-explanatory, and some of them, as I mentioned, are peculiar to WalkMe. So I will give you a moment to read the terms. Now, before you get started, there's some setup steps that it's good for you to do just to have a clean field on which to record. First, verify the data you're going to be using. Learners may get confused watching you fumble around searching for data in the system. Plus, if you're recording a procedure that consumes data that you can only use once, for example, if you're converting a quote to a sales order, or you're converting a purchase requisition to a purchase order, once you've done that conversion, that piece of data is exhausted. So you want to make sure you have the right data, it hasn't already been used for something else, and you want to be able to get your recording right the first time. So always verify those data. Second, I recommend turning off any unnecessary apps on your desktop, whether it be PC or Mac. Unlike other recording tools, WalkMe is pretty good about not picking up other applications such as Outlook pop-up notifications from mail, or instant messaging applications, Slack notifications, things like that. But they can be a distraction to you. So I recommend turning them off. And in the case of Outlook, maybe also put an out-of-office notification on, letting people know that you're recording things, so they don't disturb you until after your recording is over. Close any unnecessary browser tabs. Now again, it's not so much a problem for WalkMe as it is for your system overall. WalkMe will only record the one browser tab you're on. If you want to record multiple browser tabs, by all means, keep them all open. But in general, from experience, I found them to be kind of a memory drain. Some browsers are better about conserving memory than others. I'd hate to see a recording of yours freeze up because your memory suddenly became too much to handle. And then finally, before you start recording, launch the application you want to record, in this case Salesforce, and navigate to the screen you want to start on. Generally, for example, if you want to teach them how to create a sales quote, it could be that they already know how to log on to Salesforce, so you don't want to teach that to them again. They already know how. So start on the first screen of what you want them to learn. Got a couple of quick knowledge checks for you. They're both multiple choice. So take a look at the choices, select the correct answer, and then I'll tell you what the correct answer was. So first one, what's the benefit of using WalkMe to develop training? Usually when a multiple choice question has all of the above as one of the answers, that's probably the answer. In this case, less time to generate a quote, fewer help desk tickets, and less time spent in training are indeed all benefits of using WalkMe to develop training. Here's another multiple choice. Here's a definition from our glossary slide. Read the definition and tell me what term it defines. The clue is the word action. In order to perform an action, you have to initiate an action. So the answer in this case is B, initiator. So the initiator in Salesforce and in WalkMe is whatever it is you did to trigger the walkthrough balloons, that's the technical term, displaying on various parts of the screen. For example, if you click Create New in Salesforce, the balloon should pop up and tell you this is where you create a new sales quote. You did great. Now you know a little bit about WalkMe. I hope you're excited to get started using WalkMe to create context-sensitive training. Once you get into it, you will find that WalkMe is a highly versatile tool. There's so many things you can do with it to customize the help and add your knowledge of the tool to aid others as they learn the implementation. In the next lesson, we'll get started logging into the WalkMe data center and actually create a walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed this intro to WalkMe. See you on the next one.